right, I'm just gonna lay everything out there on Front Street. This is some weird shit where it's involving Baron Samedi. He actually did this before when I turned 18. And they're trying to put me under some type of fucking mind control and keep me stuck in my own fucking mind and put me out of my consciousness if possible, which Billy B.A., aka Baron Samedi, once did. I'm going to tell you something right now. I never worked with him because he's an extremely sadistic individual. I remember having a dream where there were two women, two white women. One was gay, straight up butch gay. To make a long story short, he did something to her. He put them both, this is what he did. He put them both in the roach realm because from what I was able to gather, they refused to work with him. They didn't want to work with him, so he cast them in the roach realm. Never ever work with Baron Samedi. Don't fuck with him. Don't deal with him. He's an evil, sadistic, very pernicious entity. With that being said, let me go ahead and talk about what I'm dealing with. With that being said, last night, like they're really trying to put the clamps on me as I'm attempting to start escaping this curse. From what I'm understanding, they're trying to, put controllers on my mind control me. In other words, brainwash me. From what I've seen in the astral plane, they've done it to my ancestors, my parents as well, to keep us as, keep them as dislocated as possible from finding me out, finding where I'm at in the astral plane and helping me out and so forth and so on. And they've been getting very, very sadistic about killing me in my sleep, which almost happened last night. In the astral plane, Nini Ocala and Ethan Ocala and what's his name? His real name is Mickey what is it? Addison. That's the name of Nicholas Beard, and I finally was able to get his real name. He has a demonic entity that's attached to him that's supposed to be the spirit of somebody that he sacrificed and killed. Somebody off the PCH. I believe, I'm trying to figure out who it is exactly. Anyways, to make a long story short, here's what's happening. The other night, because they're trying to post like red herrings over my fucking head and have me chasing like a fucking dog. The other night, last night, I felt them roach attachments close in on my consciousness. I could hear them chomping at the gate, woo, woo. Getting ready to devour my soul, because I have very, very little, I'm down to my soul consciousness, very, very little consciousness left. And it's because deliberately Baron Samedi, as I'm later on finding out, deliberately kept me at a point where I barely have any consciousness by doing something in the astral plane where he trades it out to other people. From what I understand, there's a person or an entity called Ashley Hampstead that's supposed to be in charge of, this gets really fucking deep, like MK Ultra victims or something like that. They're trying to put me under mind control so that they can keep my blessings and my spiritual powers and abilities. With that being said, from what I understand, she's supposed to be, like, going back to, remember when I was talking about how I got casted out of my body on August 22nd, 2022? Well, anyway, she's supposed to be the one that's responsible for maintaining my body in that timeline. And they put a roach attachment in there and basically funneled all of my blessings to Zendaya through it. And set up all this mind control, mind play shit. They fuck with my mind every single fucking night so I can never access my blessings or get them back. Get back my spiritual abilities. And their plans, their intentions is to make me be homeless for the rest of my life, be subject to homelessness, go crazy on the streets, eating out of trash cans and dumpsters, That's exactly what I learned um, from their refrains. I keep hearing not just the roach attachments, but various other spirits say that's Baron Samedi, along with those people's intentions, is to keep me down. And I'm gonna tell you something else about Baron Samedi. He don't like people with strong spiritual abilities and powers. I found out that under the timelines where he was over me, or what they call in the spirit world, in the occult shit. I know a lot deeper than what y'all motherfuckers know. Trust me when I say that. He, in the timelines where he quote unquote covered me, I was poor and I was destitute and homeless and made to live on the streets. And a lot of those, I was half Mexican. He don't like Mexicans. I'm gonna tell you that right off the fucking bat. He don't like Hispanics. He don't like Mexicans. He don't respect Santa Muerte. He looks down upon her as being powerless. So I'm just gonna note that. Don't ever fuck with this very sadistic, highly, if you're a victim of him and you have strong spiritual abilities and talents, not only will he try to do everything in his power to get people and influence people if he can't do it himself, to intimidate you and harass you in the spirit plane into giving your spiritual abilities to him, but he's going to make your life a living hell. And that's what he did for one of my cells in that timeline. He had her living on the streets, prostituting, the same refrains that I hear supposedly coming from the Occalas, which is, from their subconscious. They do something where they hook up their subconscious to you. This sounds like MK Ultra, straight up. This is what I saw at the beginning of the curse. Point where my free will, where my consciousness is getting down to moot. So I need to start doing more videos like this. With that being said, and just fuck the consequences, fuck whatever happens. With that being said, he had her living on the streets, still does, living on the streets, destitute, homeless, prostituting. These are the intentions that he had set up for me. One of the first, when I became a victim of his, what did they call it? When you cast a spell on somebody. Be going to church tomorrow right across the street so I can get away from this shit. But anyways, one of the first things that he set up as part of the curse, one of the first refrains was, or curses really rather was, I want you to be a prostitute, a hoe, and a slut. That's all you're ever going to be. As a matter of fact, he dressed up one of my spirit guides the other night as like a blow-up toy. Very, very nasty, evil motherfucker. And he's using these other mind-controlled motherfuckers. From what I understand, Nene Ocala and all of them, they signed contracts. I saw it the other night when I was getting help from a very powerful spirit guide, that these motherfuckers are all under the control of something. But I'm not really sure if that's true or not, but they seem like they're not all together there. I was shown one of them who lives in Santa Monica, who's supposed to be a Mexican, who's all fucked up in the head. I got a Manuel Hernandez. I got a Nina Bermudez. I got, again, what's his name? Because when I mentioned his name, he started running for the hills. For Nicholas Beard, in other words, Michael O'Terrence is really, they're trying to cut something, a vital piece of my consciousness off of me right now as I'm talking about this. And now I'm getting flashback of me talking about this. Deja vu. His name is Mickey Addison, or Addison. Mickey Addison. And they seem like they, it just, there's so many layers to this curse, it's not even funny. Anyways, they kept calling in the spirit plane, Nene calling them, from what I heard from the roach spirits and all that attachments or whatever. They kept calling her, what do they call it? They kept calling my parents Beavis and Butthead because they have them shriveled down to that level where they fuck their consciousness up so fucking bad to the point where, like, them and Billy B.A.I., put them through what they call CIA parlance washes, where in your own mind, your own consciousness, they basically brainwash you. Like, I'm going to tell you something right now. While I was in jail, because this is some deep ass fucking shit, I actually had things coming through the walls, entities coming through the walls, threatening to put like poison, fast acting poison in my veins inside of me and all of that. Things grabbing me from out the walls, putting like heat irons all over my head. They call it microwaving. This is very, very fucking serious. I can't emphasize that enough. They talk about on YouTube microwave weapons and all of that. So I'm not totally fucking insane. With that being said, they call my parents Beavis and Butthead because of how big their heads are in the astral plane. So last night I saw their heads coming through. And so when I saw their heads coming through, they're fucking with my consciousness right now. So this is fucked up. So when I saw their heads coming through, I'm going to have to do something to fucking rectify this shit, man. They've, like I said the other night, Billy B.A., Baron Samedi is my connection to the source. So I'm going to have to do something to get rid of them, man, because, if you're disconnecting somebody from God, from the source, you're fucked. And these are, I'm going to get into more details about that later on, but, this is some, like, really, really evil shit that I'm fucking dealing with. I'm facing, like, 3 evil-ass sadistic entities, and the second one I'm not really sure about. The first 2 I'm really, really sure about. It's involving God, Zeus, being under that. And, he's the one who, before the commencement of this curse, the second part of the curse, signed off on letting my higher self be taken by these 2 evil entities here. From what I'm understanding, the other one with the bald head and all of that, the Mexican, Alex Nacimiento, he was deliberately brought in to keep me under the curse of Baron Samedi. He knew I would become spiritual in that old apartment, so he brought that entity in to keep me stuck under the curse and render him into what they call a slave driver in MK Ultra parlance. I don't want to say MK Ultra, but in terms of like when you talk about consciousness, somebody who's designed to keep me from getting my best, most lucrative timelines and so forth and so on. Like, they're trying to put like me under tight control right now, like really, really tight. Like I said, I'm barely my soul consciousness. And they have it arranged and set up in the astral plane that every time I start to build myself back up again, I get destroyed and brought down. With that being said, I was in my old childhood home, and I saw my parents, Beavis and Butthead, replicas of them. They started making replicas of them at one point, walking through the sky, going, floating through the sky. So at one point, they set their eyes on me, and so I see 3 people wearing clan outfits marching up the steps. So as they're marching up the steps, I get the feeling that they're trying to kill me. And I hear from the roach spirits that Nini Ocala and them, I was able to do something where I pulled their spirit, their soul, or some of their consciousness out the back of their neck. I was getting really, really, really scared, and I felt that I might die in my dream, in this nightmare. So there were a bunch of other things too going on. I'm trying to remember. Shit. Where they were trying to kill me in my sleep. I remember seeing my brother, Carrie, in another room. In his room, And he was in there, and I could tell he was like stuck in the hell realm. They had him stuck in the hell realm, and he was begging for help, but also simultaneously trying to help me out. It looked simultaneously normal, but he was stuck in the hell realm. In another one, I'm trying to remember exactly. I'm gonna say something right now. Another weird thing I've been noticing too is that articles on my site have been getting deleted, and that's not supposed to be happening. I saw a man in another room, and he was sitting down. It was a sheriff's deputy that I've known, and he was sitting in the chair that my father would sit in when I was a little girl. And he was sitting there just like, he looked like he was out of it, like totally fucking dazed and totally fucking confused. And these things are really trying to fuck with my free will, my consciousness, and all of that really, really fucking bad. And I remember going outside at one point, wondering what the fuck was going on. It was just like, so when I woke up, I was surrounded, in the astral, simultaneously physical. They've done something with my consciousness where they've made it open to the astral plane where evil entities can come in and fuck with me. With that being said, oh shit, that one of them, the Seamus Anderson, done taken hold of my soul consciousness to some degree. Like I say, they put possessing entities in my body that's designed to not only keep me stuck to the curse, but drive me towards insanity to the point where you see me talking to myself on the streets, which hasn't happened yet, thankfully, because I have some spiritual protection. And, he keeps trying to fuck with vital aspects of my consciousness while in my body. And I've been trying to figure out ways to exercise that entity from here so I don't have to deal with them again. Early in the day, I was fortunate enough, because they've been doing something with my consciousness where they remove your entity attachments, your connections to your ancestors from it. They remove all of that so that you can't access, your ancestors, your higher selves when it's time, when they are ready to kill you in your sleep. These are the things that Billy Samedi has set up for me. Baron Samedi. With that being said, they're trying to make me forget something as I talk. But like I said, thank goodness I have strong spiritual protection of some degree. And it's not coming from that evil motherfucker. With that being said, I woke up and heard the roach attachments chomping at the bits. And from what I found out, they were able to get into my consciousness, devour, my spirit guide, some of my ancestors. They were fucking with my connection to God, and I was able to remove them. I played 150. I play 154 hertz frequency and 134 hertz frequency. Both of those frequencies are very effective for getting rid of entities like that. Another one is 7171 hertz. I'm going to go ahead and write it down for you. Or, I could just, during the video, just keep it up. Hold on. Go ahead and write it down for you all. With that being said, they put me through these obstacle courses, which reminds me of what I saw with a young Mexican lady, what she was grappling with Alex Nacimiento. Again, he looks like this. Very, very evil entity that got let into my mind back in 2011. but through my spirit guides, ancestors, I was able to kick them out. It's Baron Samedi that's trying to keep me tied down to the curse. Like I said the other night, I heard the Occalas, even their higher selves, it's mainly their higher selves. I heard them and Addison or whatever his name is say, "Hey man, you're doing too much, man. Why you gotta torment her like that?" Anyways, it reminds me of what he did to the young Mexican lady, where he had her and a couple of other people who worked at Walmart for some strange reason. They have this stain about going after people who don't have a lot of money, who are poor, who are subject to poverty, even though these motherfuckers are extremely wealthy and rich. And they get paid off of, through their roach attachments. They find out people's PIN numbers and all of that. And they do credit card fraud, all sorts of fucking things to be able to get the big house that they got in Malibu and so forth and so on. I'm gonna throw this out right now. I'm wondering if it's these people right here, because I gotta go Bermudez. And those were the people who that night, when I was communicating with the roach attachments through an entity attachment connected through the neck and all of that, he they had it set up to where I could hear them driving, and coming down here to South Central where I'm at to stay in the motel so I could confront them. And I never did. But the roach attachments kept saying it's them people, it's them people, it's them people. I really don't know. With that being said, I mean, they're really trying to fucking put me under some type of MK Ultra mind control. In the astral plane, for instance, they have MK Ultra posted right near my consciousness in an attempt to try to control me as much as possible. Like somebody else on here say, never, ever, ever sign a soul contract with these people. I'm gonna say something else and I'm gonna stop doing this shit. Don't let them play mind games with you. It's your mind, it's your consciousness. They're not supposed to have control over that motherfucker like that. With that being said, just like I saw with the poor Mexican young girl and the couple of Walmart workers, it was a couple of little white kids who later on I saw them helping my brother in the astral plane to escape the curse. When this curse first commenced, I saw them all throughout helping guide him, out of, hell realms and so forth and so on, and bringing him to a place of leisure, a much better place. With that being said, these things are trying to test to see if they got control over my consciousness as I talk. With that being said, they put them. I remember seeing that Alex Nacimiento entity, looking at them through a computer monitor and watching them as they struggled, just like they had my poor father in a place called Zabar's, a place I used to visit back in New York, where they put them in department stores and had people, entity attachments of people who I'm guessing were prior victims and so forth and so on, torture them, those people's ancestors. They did that to them where they had them in the giant department store. It looked like Lowe's or something like that, and they were torturing them and trying to stab them and saying refrains over and over again, like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to torture you, woo, woo, woo. This is some weird, this shit that I'm dealing with, this is not even a fucking curse. This shit goes fucking deep. It goes really deep. So anyways, with that being said, I was I'm being put through something similar, but in my own consciousness, my own mind. Another thing I wanted to mention too with the Mexican young lady that they put through hell. I don't know if they killed her in her sleep, just like they've been trying to do with me, or they're doing it in her own consciousness. But I remember seeing like a studio. Like it looked like a studio. Um, like a studio, production studio that you would see in in various places, like movie studio. It looked like that, and I saw Alex Nacimiento looking at what she was going through a computer screen, through a computer monitor. At one point, he had like a giant head that was chasing her, and so forth and so on. Now, getting back to me, they're doing the same with me. This is going to sound schizophrenic as a motherfucker, but I constantly hear entity attachments in my head, jumping up for joy, jumping down, clapping, waving, laughing, and doing all sorts of fucking things. It sounds like there's a crowd in my head at all fucking moments and times. And that sounds really motherfucking weird. And I've seen that somewhere in my consciousness, that Alex Nacimiento entity is able to look at me through kind of like a computer monitor outside, and see what I'm going through and see what I'm up to, outside or in it. I've seen those people's higher selves that I named, Nini Ocala, Manuel Hernandez, a bunch of other people. They're fucking with my consciousness right now, man, so I don't have free thought and free will. But I've seen those same fucking people, their higher selves, like looking through like glass partitions in my consciousness, in my part of the astral plane, my head. I know that sounds crazy watching what I'm going through. And even though I'm still in the physical body, it's like they put me through all of that torturous shit, as a spectacle. So with that being said, I'm gonna say this right now. That's why at this point frequency is key, man, because they start removing vital parts of your consciousness that, you're fucked. So anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt very, very disconnected from my spirit guides, from my spirit team. I was trying to reach them as much as possible, but they do something with your consciousness. It almost feels like disassociation, where your perception can be off, where it'll be like way off, and you don't know what the fuck is going on, and you're trying to reach the last modicum of sanity that you still got left, of consciousness. You're trying to reach out to, your higher selves, your spirit guides, and so forth and so on. You just don't know what's going on. Anyways, with that being said, I remember seeing Baron Samedi fucking with my consciousness. And at times, and I found this to be the case, opening up the door to my consciousness and my part of the astral plane. The wider part of it, the wider part of the astral plane. Not necessarily this is fucked up. I'm just going to say it like this, not necessarily, you say pretty close to it. Allowing all sorts of roach attachments to be able to come in and pilfer off of me, steal my blessings, steal my spiritual powers, my gifts, and so forth and so on. They're really trying to control my consciousness as I talk. I know it seems like, people would think that this reminds me of like when I was in jail when they were trying to shut down, certain bodily functions of mine. You know, keeping me at a place where I, constantly torturing in my own fucking head, in my own mind. This is just evil. It's pure fucking evil what I'm dealing with. And what that fucking nigger put me through. What he's putting my ancestors through. I hate that nigga with a fucking passion for doing this to me and my bloodline. So with that being said, I was trying to contact one of my spirit guides, my last link to my consciousness, my last connection to, just, I'm just going to say it like this. They try to get you to be stuck in your head. And that's the worst fucking thing. That's what happens with catatonics. That's what happens with people with, major mental disorders. They get them stuck in their head. And on many occasions, this is why I think that, I'm just going to pop out videos because it's very, very therapeutic. They want you to stay stuck in your head, and try to get in your head as much as, fuck up your head as much as possible and fuck up vital parts of your consciousness. But like somebody else was saying, it's an illusion. But, definitely, I'm not going to lie when I say this. It's real for your spirit guides, for your spirit team, and all of that. Putting you through washes and all of that. Now, with that being said, I remember waking up and trying to contact one of my spirit guides. And they tried to make him say, like, deceptive shit, woo woo woo. And so, thankfully, because Baron Samedi isn't as much of a factor. Like I say, the other three fucking people are fucking, I don't want to say idiots just yet, but it seemed like they got something going on. Like I say, they, from what I kept hearing from their roach attachments, they signed a soul contract in the spirit plane to where they can't grow their own consciousness. That's why I went and tried to pull their consciousness out of their neck, because unlike me, their consciousnesses aren't allowed to be grown naturally. And, to kill these fuckers. But, I woke up and I was able to, put myself back together and get the pieces to the puzzle that I need. Like I say, they do something every night where they break up my consciousness, separate it, throw it out, put it into Ashley Hampstead, an entity attachment that's designed to destroy your consciousness and so forth and so on. And put you under complete mind control, which is what they attempted to do to me tonight. I mean, to make a long story short, without going into too many details, they tried to set it up in the astral plane where it was some type of great fight. Like at the beginning of this curse, I was told by God, aka really Zeus, I was told by an entity, portraying itself as Zeus, that I would have a major undertaking to undergo. And I was made to feel like I would have to go under some major fucking shit. But, the whole time I'm like, this is schizophrenia. People who are like heroes who go on major conquests, they're not doing all that shit. They're not in their own fucking head. Come on, man. Maybe like some physical conquest, but not that. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. With that being said, they're trying to fuck with my consciousness and spread it thin. I mean, the roach attachments that they got tied to me and attached to me and all of that, they do something to your consciousness where the minute you just concentrate and think of something, not only do they hop on it, skip on it, jump on it, and then attack it, but the minute you think of something, it could break something in your consciousness. This is dangerous. This is a highly dangerous curse that I need to be free from. With that being said, I was able to get the parts of my consciousness back. I can't fucking emphasize enough how much of an evil fucking, I mean, they're putting shit in my consciousness right now as I talk. How much of an evil whatchamacallit curse this is. With that being said, I was able to go and get those vital pieces back. And I was trying to contact one of my spirit guides to see what is going on, what's happening. And I was shown that I was surrounded, I could hear them chomping too. I was surrounded by all of these roach entities that wanted to devour me. And I was able to clear them out, thankfully. I was just trying to remember some because they're trying to make my memories go thin. I was able to clear them out, thankfully. Trying to get me to concentrate on some part of my consciousness right now. That would fuck something up. That's why I say it's a highly dangerous curse. You don't want anything like this. You know, their goal is to make you, they separate you from your original consciousness like they're doing to me as much as possible so you can become what they call intranquil, like an intranquil spirit, and it'll be easier to capture your consciousness and your soul out of your body so they could take you to their hell realm. And that's exactly what they've been doing to me lately. Now, with that being said, I was able to clear everything out. Now, there's a very sadistic, I don't know how to get rid of them, entity that's attached or associated with that fucking guy. You know, from what I'm hearing from a lot of people, he works out. I saw his baby picture. I saw how he looked too through my soul consciousness. How he looked as a baby. He had a pointy head, sort of. Mickey Addison. I saw how he looked. He has like short legs from what I was told. Skinny legs, but he's big. Like the upper torso is built, but the lower torso is not. That's the Malibu shaman I keep talking about. It was like a child molesting, some shit like that. It's no wonder that they put a child molester entity, C. Miss Anderson, inside of my body that looks like this.